I'm riding across Eupen right now, heading towards a campsite in Robertville, which is located in the Belgian Ardennes. It's the start of a 1-week holiday in where I want to ride across the French Vosges and maybe also the French Dordogne, but I'm not sure about that. Riding to the south any further is not likely because it's bloody hot over there. Temperatures of around 40 degrees and even higher are predicted. That's too much for me. I called the campsite if they do have space for the little tent because this is August. It's the high season and most of the people are having holiday. Luckily for me they confirmed a pitch, which is nice. Lac de Robertville. Beautiful. Yeah, beautiful. And the campsite should be a little bit south of this lake, the other side. Drive into there or not? I'm not completely sure. I think that's it. Camping under Egg. Now always the exciting part comes up. I've called a lady and they do have something, but you never can tell. So we have to wait and see. Belgium Ardennes. On the campsite, it's Thursday evening and I've pitched down my tent, a complete new one, which I'm very happy with because it's a fantastic tent. It's very easy to put up and very quick to put down. So that's it. It's a Friday morning, 10:30. I left the campsite and the goal for today is Mouche. We have stayed there 2 years back already with my son and 2 friends. I do have a route, a touristic route towards Mouche, but the Garmin doesn't want to calculate the route. So I have a little problem there. Fortunately, my route app, the other app I have on my mobile phone, does have a route. So then at least I know in what kind of direction I'm traveling. And again, quite a beautiful area. I'm not completely sure where I'm driving right now. If this is Luxembourg. I have the feeling it's Luxembourg, but I'm not completely sure about it. Nevertheless, it's an awesome road. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe down below. Close by Motor Hotel Mouche in the Vosges. It's about 10 minutes and I expect to arrive there. I called them if they do have a grass spot to pitch down my tent, and yes indeed, that's possible. And as you can see, the weather is really fantastic. That is to say, 33 degrees is quite hot. But it's better than rain. Okay, here it should be. And it is. Really. Motorhotel Camping La Mouche in the Vosges. Yeah, a lot of possibilities here to put down a tent. It's very large. And this is my spot, which is a perfect spot for the next couple of days. Oh, that was a little mistake. I looked, but I did not look good enough. That's a little bit pity. Okay, done that. Let's start traveling. Started from Motor Hotel La Mouche. It's called a Motor Hotel, which indeed is the case because it has several rooms and 2 jeets, which are quite large rooms. So in that respect you can call it a hotel, and it's a nice area, mostly occupied by Dutch people in most cases. Yeah, which is great fun. I have decided to stay here on La Mouche for at least 3 nights. So this is the first day I'm riding from La Mouche back and forth, and I'm going to ride the Grand Ballon, a route of about 5 hours in total. Today it is expected to be bloody hot, because they are expecting in most of the areas in France temperatures that can raise up to 40 degrees, and 40 degrees is hot, bloody hot. Because of the hot weather I also have a cooling vest in my top case, which is containing about 2 liters of water. It's a very special vest that spreads the water around the jacket. And if it is going to be very hot, because right now I have a jacket on which is mostly built of mesh, the wind is blowing through it. For now that's sufficient, because it's 10:30, so it's not that hot right now, but it will be hotter in the afternoon, and then I can drag on that cooling vest. Might be that helps a little bit. Yeah, a lot of bikers here. The Vosges is an area where a lot of bikers are driving around, because it's a stunning area. So it makes sense, right? The Ballon d'Alsace.
I don't know if that's the Grand Ballon or the Petit Ballon. However, it's a ballon, nevertheless, which is nice. And right now it's not busy, as far as you can see now. I'm the only one, but I have been passed already, overtaken by a group of bikers when I was standing aside the road to switch on the camera. Lots of bikers, bicycle riders, bicycle races also. So it's busy on the ballon. Or put otherwise, it's a busy ballon. And there they are, all kinds of bike riders. Yeah, I can wave at them, but then I keep waving. Yeah, lots of bike riders everywhere around. It's busy, that's what I said. Really busy. Really busy. Sit down here for a couple of minutes. Plenty of time. Okay. Let's do a drink or something like that. I don't think I can put up the drone here. I'm almost sure about it. I did it in half an hour back in a forest somewhere with nobody around and very quiet area there, and I get a lot of warnings on the drone, you don't believe it. I think almost 10. I have to recognize and acknowledge almost everything before I can put up the drone. Right in front of me is the Grand Ballon. Completely on the top you see a little white building. I think a radar station, a satellite station, something like that. That's the Grand Ballon. And that's the goal for the next half hour or so. The view on the road here in the valley is awesome. Well, look at that. So the other one, I was I think 2 hours back, sort of. that was not the Grand Ballon, that was the Petit Ballon or Ballon d'Alsace. I have in mind that it's also called the Petit Ballon, but I'm not completely sure about that. But the Grand Ballon is coming up. And that's the largest one in the Vosges. I don't know exactly what the altitude is, but it's high. I've ridden the Grand Ballon many times, and a couple of occasions I had very bad weather there. It was a little bit cloudy and foggy and rainy, and in this area when it is a little bit rainy and you go up to the Grand Ballon, most of the time that you end up in the clouds, which means that you're driving in the fog, and then you see almost nothing anymore. A lot of guys coming down. Down in the valley it was 35 degrees, which is hot, bloody hot. Okay guy, it would be nice if you keep your own lane. That's not possible. Another one is coming up, so I have to keep my ease a little bit. Wow! What a view! Yeah, and I do it this way. Okay. Whoa, what's that kind of thing? Photographs again. Campers again. Bicycle riders again. Looks a little bit like a Stelvio. But it was way more busy than what you see here. Now I want to shut down the cameras because it's fine by me so far. Better put it a little bit aside, otherwise people start complaining.
And the restaurant here around the corner, back there, doesn't like people coming on their own. At least two. So this is all about making money. And if you look at the prices on the menu, well, 10 euros for a glass of Coke, that's something I'm not going to pay. So now I'm here, around the corner, in a little bush, sitting against a tree in the shade, which is quite nice. And I do have my own drink here, which costs almost nothing. And for me it's fine so far. Take a little rest, 40 minutes, 15 minutes or so, and then I'm going to continue.
Le Val d'Ajol, the day 136. And here you see very little people, almost none, which is something I like.
And then I crashed the drone. I had put it in sports mode because I thought that would deliver spectacular footage. Well, it did, but not in the way I had in mind. In sports mode the obstacle avoidance sensors are shut down, so the drone flew into a tree at top speed. Fortunately I could pick it up easily, one propeller had little damage, that's it. But unfortunately I had forgotten to bring the spare set I have with me on this holiday, so the rest of the days I could not use the drone any longer, and that's a bit pity.
A really nice piece of the Vosges area. Yeah, and these black things on the road, It's open tarmac and it's a little bit slippery. Especially when the sun is burning on it all day long, then it is it's melting a little bit. So then you need to take care because then it can be slippery. So it's 10:30 now. It's Sunday morning. I'm driving a shorter route called the Schlucht. So I started a little bit earlier than yesterday, I think an hour earlier. So then I can have some profit from the lower temperature in the morning. And the Schlucht is familiar to me. I have done that several times. It's a very winding road, but beautiful. Yeah, this is really a fantastic picture. Yeah, I'm not on the nicest spot to put down my bike, but that's the problem a little bit here. Everywhere you drive around, you have nowhere the possibility to put your bike down alongside the road in an easy way. So then I simply do it this way. Yeah, this is a spot I can remember from previous times I visited this area. These trees and these benches. Do I feel tempted to put down everything here? No, not really, to be honest. Not right now. Although it's a beautiful spot. Above is the Col du Wedstein. That's the name of the thing. There's a large memorial there from the Second World War. A cemetery with a huge amount of crosses. And it was also very, very busy there because it's Sunday. So I have the feeling that a lot of people right now are visiting that memorial to remember what happened back in the days. Huge amount of cars parked everywhere. I don't feel tempted to stop there. I thought, well, let's avoid the crowd. Expectations for today were temperatures of almost 40 degrees. Now, of course, I'm driving a little bit higher up on the mountains right now, and that mostly will give some advantage when it comes to temperature, but all day long so far the temperature is around 23 degrees, which is not as hot as predicted. I don't mind, it's fine. But I don't complain. This temperature is fantastic, perfect for driving.
This is a familiar viewpoint to me because I stood here many times with friends and with my son also to look around over the valley.
I think that thing is new. Look at that. Parking lot is completely occupied. I sat here also together with Jan Paul. Previous year or the year before, I don't know exactly. At that time it was mostly empty. I think it was in June. Almost back at La Mouche. And it's almost 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I planned this way because I want to be back early in the afternoon, because then I have the possibility to do the rest of the day as less as possible. The tent is still there. Great. Perfect. It's Monday morning, 10:30. I left the campsite half an hour ago to do a little round trip. I like riding in conditions like this. Empty roads, winding a little bit through the landscape. And this landscape here varies quite a lot. Then you have some forest, and then it's open again, and then you have some little villages. And at that time, still 9:30. Sun is low. Temperature is fantastic right now. What is the temperature? 20 degrees. Well, would be nice if it stays that way, but that will not be the case. It will heaten up during the day. Look here. Yeah, the picture is stunning. Little lake. Beautiful. Really beautiful. And there's another piece of lake. Stunning, right? Absolutely awesome. Now it's a very pity that I broke down the drone. Another piece of lake there. beautiful area. For safety reasons I cannot use the drone any longer. Route du Tour, Route du Tour. I'm wondering, Route du Tour, is that Tour de France? Probably something else, but I cannot imagine that the Tour de France is passing over these kind of roads, because it's very bumpy. I've experienced better roads than this one. It's also quite narrow, so just another lake. Yeah, the area is absolutely gorgeous. What a view. It's blocked. I asked the guy there, the security guy, if there's a way of passing around it. But he said it takes only 5 minutes. 5 or 10 minutes. Okay. But I hear an engine starting up around the corner, which makes a lot of noise. Whoa! It's some kind of a race against time. I saw a time control machine. So then the road here, the track should be very special, I think. I'm not going same as fast as the guys in those racing cars. Oh, I think, is this it? No, it's not the end. Looking at the stripes, the rubber stripes on the ground. Yeah. Haystacks. Because if it goes wrong, then the car ends up in the lake. The gravel on the ground. For a car on 4 wheels that's not a problem, but for me as a motorbiker, it's slippery. Gravel on the ground. I have to be careful. Yeah. For a racing car, I can imagine that this is. Guy, probably don't do the same thing as those guys, because I want to have some road left. Okay, I think that's it. I'm waiting a little bit because I turned around down below to go back up, and then I saw a camper coming down. So I turned around to come up here to film the descent down below, because there are things that you can call winding roads. Heavily winding roads. And this is one of them. It looks like a spaghetti. And so I turned around to film the descent again. And now I do have more traffic than I had the previous time, but so far so good. This is what you can call spaghetti. The spaghetti road. Really spaghetti road. Col du Wetstein, altitude 880 meters, and a very impressive cemetery. Yesterday I passed the same spot also, and then it was very crowdy. Dan ik er op Pont National du Col du Wetstein. 1915, so it's first World War memorial. Really impressive. Right, let's continue. I'm leaving La Mouche. Packed everything in the bags. Nothing on the ground, so that means that I have everything in the bags, right? And the destination is a campsite, another campsite, and close by Metz, somewhere in the forests over there. I already had contact with them by email. And indeed, they do have a spot. Yes, sir, no problem. Okay. And it's not far away. It's a drive of 3.5 hours. And I'm quite late this morning because I did everything completely on my ease. Because it's already 27 degrees in the morning. As I said, it is 10:30 and it's already 27 degrees and it's building up to 35 in the afternoon, so it's becoming really hot. Now fortunately my tent pitch was in the shadow, but nevertheless in the shadow with 27 degrees, yeah, then you're sweating your pants off. So for that reason I did not had pulled on pants. I did everything in my underwear without a shirt, because then I can lose some heat. Fortunately, the spot I had was surrounded by trees and bushes and so forth, so I was quite isolated there, and doing things bare naked is something I really don't have difficulties with. But there comes a point, then you have packed everything and then you need to leave, and then you need to pull on your trousers and a jacket. Otherwise, when I'm falling down on the ground with only a short on and nothing more, then that's something you do not want. So now I'm riding in the direction of Metz. I have planned a route, a little bit of a round trip, completely through the inner lands. I don't want to have highways or something that looks like that, because there's no fun at all riding highways. And the expected time of arrival in Metz, yeah, it's not Metz, it's in the surroundings of Metz, is expected to be 2 o'clock in the afternoon, which is, yeah, perfect, I think. Then I hope, really hope that I can find a spot over there on that campsite in the shades, because then I have to put up my tent in around 35 degrees. Okay, that's a worry for later. For now it feels perfect. What is the temperature saying? 22 degrees. Oh, I don't complain. Look what a beautiful, fantastic area it is. It is here a little bit flat because I am outside of the mountain range in the Vosges. The mountain range is more or less the Ballon, Grand Ballon, Petit Ballon. Ballon d'Orsach. I've done that yesterday and the day before. And in this area it's a little bit more hilly, hillside. So I'm a little bit more of a hillbilly. Cars coming up. Oh, okay. The car doesn't want to overtake me. Okay, then leave it over there. Because I'm not in a hurry, guy, so you can overtake me if you want. But for now, yeah, perfect. This is something I enjoy very much. Look at the landscape, beautiful. Now you want to overtake me. Yeah, guy. Perfect, no problem. And honestly, I have to say, I need to say that I feel right now fantastic. Really fantastic. I hope it stays that way. No reason why not, but you never can tell. The bike feels great. I've tightened the chain 2 days earlier before, because the chain is completely brand new, and that means that after 1,000 kilometers or so it needs to tighten up a little bit, and that was the case here also. So I tightened the chain a little bit. Now it is perfect. It's a fantastic bike. KTM, 8 years old, almost 140,000 kilometers on it, and it doesn't give any indication that it is something's going wrong or went wrong or whatsoever. It's doing everything in a fantastic manner so far. Driving constantly is a little bit exhausting. So then this bench is for me to drink a little bit. Where am I? North of the Vosges and a little bit south of Metz, in the north of France, northeast of France. And this area, likely it has a name, but I cannot recall. It's flat, it's open, a little bit isolated and a little bit hilly, with some bushes and trees and some types of forest. Is this a very exciting area? No, it is not. Cows here, a couple of cows, and then all of a sudden you hit in a little town or village or something small. Ville. This one needs some work, and all these villages are, you don't see anybody. I think people are living here because there are some cars parked around, but motorbike, oh, I need to go to the left. But you don't see anyone on the streets. You can ask yourself, where are these people living from? What for kind of work they are doing? Well, I really don't have a clue. I think it's most of the time about farming, cows, grain, hay, corn, that kind of stuff. If you want to look for a nice place for spending your holiday, this is not an area that pops into mind. I have the roads mostly for myself. That's something I like. Here, look. Beautiful, right? Now I have a view. There's a barn here blocking the view. Okay.
I'm doing a little break. Where am I? At some kind of the sign at the entrance say ball trap facility. I really don't have a clue, but there is a sign over there that explains it a little bit. I'm going to show you that. So I thought, well, there is shadow here, so let's park the bike. Let's do a drink. Yeah, water, because there's nothing else here. Everything is closed. What kind of facility this is? It's some kind of a shooting range. And here are all the explanations. Pratiquer le ball trap. My French is terrible, so I need Google Translate to give me an idea what's actually going on right here. But if you see up here is discs that probably, oh, that looks like quite modern. These discs are being shot out, I think, in the air, and then you have to try with a gun to shoot them into pieces. Sort of. What's this? Volume 0, no bird, menu, advanced, valide. Volume, okay, right. I think I'm going to sit down here for a while to take a rest. Or take a nap, it also could also be. In the shades, it's fantastic. I think I'm going to sit down for a while.
The planned campsite is coming up. 3 minutes. And the campsite is hidden in the woods. This is some kind of an ecological campsite. Yeah, étang du Longo. Restaurant, campsite, tag block, all kinds of options, features. I'm really curious where this is heading to. It's completely in the middle of nowhere. Indeed, look at that. There's a lake. Door is open. Now I'm curious. What a place. Well, there is water, so if I want to cool down, I can do that in the lake.
And the pitch I am having right now, which is this one, is not officially a pitch. But the owner of the site allowed me to put it up here under the trees. And so tomorrow morning when the sun is coming up, I expect that this tree here is going to cover me completely with some shadow. A beautiful location, really. But for me it is too quiet. With a little imagination, it is more like a graveyard, to be honest. And that is exactly completely opposite of the camping I was yesterday, La Mouche, where it is more like a disco with around 30, sometimes more, very noisy motorbikers. Here everybody is whispering to each other to avoid making too many noise. That's something for me. Making too much noise. Okay. Yeah, I do have a nice pitch. Right. But I'm leaving tomorrow morning. That's for sure.
This was Foxycamp, close to Verdun, the north of France. The weather expectations for today are even hotter than yesterday. I'm going to pull up my chain loop because my chain needs some lubrication, so done. So I do have normal shoes and normal pants on, normal trousers instead of my special motor trousers, because that's black, that is hot, that's warm. This is La Roche-en-Ardennes, which I am very familiar with. Yeah, it's busy here. La Roche-en-Ardennes is always busy. Let's see if I can put down the bike somewhere. Some tables over there. Great. I think I found it already. Let's do that. What's going on right here? The queue. That's just, that's not possible, yeah. Yeah, okay. Great. Yeah, La Roche is busy, very busy. And take the risk. Nothing coming up. Concentrate. Yeah, you lose your concentration. You should not do that. You should pay attention. You should wake up. Now it goes better. This is the way to do things. Yeah, this one is going even smoother. I forgot to look where I am going. That's stupid. Now I do. Voeren, provincie Voeren, België. I should be very close by the campsite. Vlaanderen, is Netherlands? Yeah, Netherlands. So now I'm very curious how that campsite looks like, because the area I'm coming from, a quarter of an hour back, that was bad. Some kind of an industrial area. Lot of supermarkets and industry and whatever. Lots of deviations and roadblocks. So the campsite here to the left. This is it. This is the campsite. At the left here. Okay. Yeah. Natuurlijk Limburg. Okay. That should be it. Let's put the bike here in shades. Reception report here. Checked in? Yes sir, no problem whatsoever. You have a spot. You need to drive around the building, which I did, and then I ended up here. I have electricity there, I can use it. The swimming pool is at the other side of this building. Perfect location to put down a bike. It's Thursday. I'm going to do a round trip, and the round trip is going to Mouche and German Eifel. This is south of Limburg, the Netherlands. Is it Netherlands or still Belgium? I really don't know. This is a very large memorial. Ah, that's a very, very large memorial. Wow, that's impressive. Whoa, that's a lot of crosses. Really impressive. American Cemetery Memorial, okay. Okay. Mouche. There is a bridge, I know there's a terrace where I can drink something, but I don't feel very tempted to sit on my own with a glass of Coke. And I'm now driving on the inner roads of the German Eifel. But what also keeps me wondering a little bit, if I look at the sky, it looks like it's going to rain. The weather is weird, really. I am going to pass a little bit later on the Ruhrsee, where there is a beach and you can swim in the lake there. I have everything with me to do that, but the temperature is not as hot as predicted, 27 degrees. Okay. I'm not in a hurry, but being stacked behind a car that close is something I don't like. I need to go to the left here, according to Garmin. Yeah. It could very well be that police checkup, where the guy on the moped is warning me for, is not on this road, but if I would have turned right, following the larger road, probably I have hit that police check. But I go left. Riding here now. There is the beach and the lake. And it's 29 degrees. Not too fly, but I'm going to just put it down here. It's 29 degrees, so temperature is high enough, but do I feel tempted to sit down here somewhere? No. It's too crowded for me. And now I'm going home. 32 minutes. Avoiding highways. Yeah, okay, let's avoid highways for a while. And the weather, as you can see, is a little bit damp. Ah, the border. Back in the Netherlands. De Limburgers heten u welkom. Thank you. The people from Limburg are welcoming me, which is nice.